Welcome back to the cheat code. It's been a minute, but then again, so is life. So, I wanted to do a video on, I did one like this before on the 3 scariest cards in the tarot deck. And this one is going to be about the 3 cards that can change the trajectory of any reading. It can change the perspective of any reading. It can change the outcome of any reading. And yeah, just like a little enlightenment about cards. So I find that there's so many like tarot channels that are popping up. I don't know what that means. I don't know if a lot of people are getting activated, so to speak, if you want to use those terms, like if they're getting activated, or if, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I don't know why this is coming out. I'm just letting it free flow because prior to me recording anything, I do my little routine and I'm just going to allow whatever comes to just flow out. I'm not channeling. I'm not doing any mediumship or anything like that. I'm just saying. But what was coming to me was, I was just about to say, I don't know why, but I was about to say there's a lot of false prophets. So whatever that means, like I know what a false prophet is, but I mean like there's a lot of people that, like with anything else in life, you see an opportunity and it's like, it looks lucrative or it looks like, everybody else is doing it. Let me do it too type thing. And I kind of spoke on that before. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with tarot cards. Tarot cards are just a tool of divination. And if you do have any spiritual gifts, you can use that as a tool for you. People have all kinds of spiritual gifts. So it's not really that tarot cards are the only tool of divination that you can use. You can use a whole bunch of different things. I really wanted to upload or re-upload a reading that I did because it was like the anniversary, we'll say the anniversary for me of like the first reading that I did, which was October 31st. It was Halloween last year, but I just became busy with a lot of other things and it just happens. I just have to figure out what I need to prioritize. But even when that happens, like, life happens and sometimes things go another direction. So I just I'll work it out somehow. Somehow I'm going to figure it out. So I want to be more consistent. If I'm going to do YouTube for whatever reasons, I want to be more consistent with it, of course, with anything that I do. So back to what I was saying before I begin. Yeah, like I had mentioned before in like the last, I think, couple videos that I posted, if you do watch any tarot channels, when you conclude the video, make sure that you call back your energy. And like I said, you can do that in any way you want to. You can just say, I call back my energy from that person. You don't give them access to tap into your energy now that you've logged out of the video or, clicked off of the video, whatever. So again, what I wanted to talk about are the 3 cards that change the trajectory, change the outcome, change the whatever wording you want to use of any. Just gonna use a little incense. Can I tickle you with my incense? Why did I say it like that? I don't know. People are getting very active lately, so getting active in these streets, trying to play God and all that. Okay, so look. Okay, so yes, where was I? I was trying to say that there's 3 cards that I chose that I find that when I do readings, it changes the whole outcome of anything that I'm doing the reading about. So let's begin. So the first card that I chose is the Fool card. So the Fool card is the first card in the tarot deck. Now, if you've watched any of my videos, you know that I'm not very big on zodiac signs when it comes to doing readings, because from my experience, it's like, unless you are doing a reading for a specific zodiac sign, excuse me, or if, let's just say in the spread or whatever you pull, whatever cards you pull, you notice that there's a lot of air signs or there's a lot of water signs or whatever. But it could just be me. I highly doubt it, but I just found that with zodiac signs, like you might find it yourself if you watch tarot readings, that people will say, you know, it could be a Sagittarius, it could be an Aries, it could be a Leo, it could be a Gemini. Like they'll go through like a whole bunch of different. So it's like, what's the point of that? Unless you actually see a specific sign that like might be dominating, that could be relevant. And also people tend to assign different signs to different cards. I know that some cards actually are related to specific signs, but then even with that, that seems to change from like deck to deck. So I don't know. There's this one lady that I watch, and because in the original tarot, but it follows the zodiac. So this being the first card, she refers to this card as an Aries. Of all the decks that I have or have seen and looking at the guidebooks, this is always an Aquarius. So it's like, that's why I don't bother. But like I said, I came up with a little bit of a solution that I'm still working on. But we're not doing a reading. We're just talking about the Fool card. So the Fool card is the first card that I chose that I can change the trajectory. Look, we're not going to play today. We're not playing today. Okay. I'm actually recording this on a full moon. Like I said, people are getting active. They're getting active. Whew. What made me so brave? Okay, so this card, as I mentioned, it can change the trajectory of any reading that you're doing, outcome, whatever you want to call it. So the Fool card represents, this is another thing that varies from deck to deck, because there's pretty common meanings, but then there's also the meanings. This adds like a little bit of a mystique when you see like the smoke. It's like, ooh, welcome to the house of, what should my house be called? Welcome to the house of, oh shoot. Welcome to the house of the Lord. That's what house this is. This is the house of the Lord. All evil be gone. Ugh. Get back here. Okay. So, is this going to be like a bloopers? Oh, child. Okay. So, again, the Fool card. It's the first card in the deck. And as I mentioned, regardless of the deck, there are certain meanings that are that the guides will have in common. The guidebook is what I'm referencing. But then again, like people have different illustrators, and they find that, especially if you have any spiritual gifts or if you're just relying on your intuition, and if you are really have very strong intuition, you might notice certain things, or certain things might resonate to you a little bit differently. So you will add that. If you, let's say you were to make a tarot deck, you would add those definitions in for yourself. Not for yourself, I mean, as definitions for your deck, because that's how it comes across for you. So it might actually work with other people. You might hear some people get a deck and they might do a review on a deck, or just mention a deck and say, you know what, this deck is not really, what's the word? I'm not connecting with it. And I've felt that before. Like I've purchased a deck and I'm just like, I'm not connecting. Like I can't read this. Like it'll say the Fool, you know what the Fool means, but for some reason I'm like, it's like not giving me anything. So some people don't connect with certain images or things like that. All right, so the Fool. So the Fool represents the beginning of a journey. If you notice, the Fool is packing very light. There's a big sun in the background. This person has just like a little sack, like with a little handkerchief on a stick. And so it looks like, you know, they've let go of what no longer serves them. They're packing light. They're starting a brand new journey. They're carefree, so much to the point that they might even walk off a cliff. They're so happy, excited. You see the little dog. To me, that represents loyalty as well. And 0 is the end. It's not the end of a cycle. 10 is really the end of a cycle, but 0 is kind of like the beginning of a cycle. 1 is starting the new cycle. So everything is kind of closed off. at this point. All the past is behind you, basically, is what we can say. And you see the sun. The sun is always representing positive stuff. So, what else do I want to say about this card? Yeah, it's just looking forward to the future and not feeling any inhibitions, not really worrying about what's ahead of you, or, you know, like leaving the past behind you. Just being happy, positive, looking forward to the future, being carefree. The next card that I chose is the Magician. So the Magician, if you notice, it has like all the suits. So it has the sword, it has the wand, it has the cups, and it has the, what else? Pentacles. So that represents earth, water, fire, air, earth, water, fire, air. Yeah, that's all of them. And if you notice as well, there's an infinity symbol above the head of the Magician. So to me, that's like infinite wisdom. It also is the same thing that's over the head of the person in the Strength card. So you also have that as well. There isn't really any sun representation other than the illumination around the person. So that can also represent the sun. And like the baggy kind of, I don't know what you want to call that, garb that the person is wearing. It reminds me of the Hierophant. And the Hierophant represents a lot of different things as well. I should have probably actually brought that card out. Let me see if I can find it if it's necessary. I think that's the one that I'm thinking of. But the Hierophant is like, represents like religion, institution. For some people, it's the Pope. It could be a bank. It could be anything. Not anything, but, you know, along those lines. Generally things that are like in an institution. Sometimes I get divine intervention when I look at that card. I get a lot of different things. I'm just trying to see if I can find it. But generally speaking, with the Magician, again, access to all the elements. It's kind of pretty self-explanatory. If you think of what a magician is, like, it's not really going to be that hard to understand, hopefully. So this is, I just came across this, so I thought I would show it. So you see the infinity symbol, the same thing that's over the head of the Magician, as I was talking about. So that was the Strength card that I was showing. And then this is the Hierophant. So that's the kind of thing that I was thinking about when I saw this person, like what they're wearing. So it kind of represents pretty much like everything in the major arcana, which are the cards from 0 to 21. So it's not like any suit cards. So that's why these cards, you can kind of more narrow down to signs. I think this one is Virgo and Gemini. Is it Virgo and Gemini? I can't remember. I think it is. I'm just getting too distracted. I'm thinking about too many things at once. All right, let's get to the point. So did I say everything about the Magician? Yeah, so it gives you all the elements. You pretty much know what a magician is. They can do anything. So with all the different suits, when you think about all the different suits, like the pentacles represent, like I said, earth. The cups represent water. The swords represent air, and the wands represent fire. So you have all the different zodiac signs there. You have all the different elements there. So you can see things about communication, about emotions, about money, stability, being grounded, being attractive, being able to command things, move things quickly. All kinds of stuff. That's the Magician. And the third one and last one, I do have an honorable mention, but the third one is the Sun card. So the Sun card is just basically the happiest card in the deck. It just represents like pure and utter bliss. So if you were asking a question and you got this card, this is like a yes, 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 yes. Undoubtedly a yes times 10. So this can also represent literally like having a child. This can also represent something being illuminated. It can represent positive outcomes to things. So again, this can change the trajectory. Why am I stumbling over that word all of a sudden? That's so weird. Of any reading. So the honorable mention card that I have is the Star card. So the star card is, and I realize there's a little bit of nudity. People get a little weirded out by that. I don't know what the YouTube streets rules are when it comes to that, because it's a cartoon and this is a tool of divination. It's not for gratification. Why did I put it down? So basically with the star card, it's really interesting because most people, when they reference the star card, they reference it as someone who's in the public eye, someone who is, you know, really popular in their circle, someone who has a lot of attention or gets a lot of attention. And being honest, myself, I have not, in all the times that I've pulled this card for myself, I've never gotten that energy. And that could be for a reason. I'm not in the public eye, so to speak. So it could be for that, but I always get something sinister. And I was actually hoping that, you know, by me just like doing this little explanation, that I would not pull any energy as if it was like a reading or something that I was doing. So I'm not really getting that. But with the star card, for me, usually, like I said, I usually get negative things, but it does represent healing as well. I don't know if you would get healing from this or anybody else does, but that's generally also one of the meanings behind the card. It has to do with healing. It kind of reminds you of the Temperance card, which I think is, it's one of the archangels, but it's a depiction of someone like pouring, like basically tempering, like there's two cups and they're pouring water from one cup to another. So it kind of involves like balance or things coming into balance. So what else with this card? I noticed a lot of little details in the background, but again, depending on what the spread is and what the communication is, this will change what direction everything is going or the overall message. So let me give you an example. Okay. All right. So, okay. So we'll take this. So the Death card, right? So the Death card represents death and rebirth. This way, if you get this card, it doesn't exactly mean death. Like there have to be other cards and context to go along with this for it to be death. So let's just say you get the Death card and you get the Sun card. So again, how I was saying that this can change the direction of any reading. If you were just to pull these two cards together, being that this is an ending and a beginning, so it's an end of not necessarily a cycle, but it could be a cycle. It could be just something that's in your life that is not serving you anymore. It could be something that you need to, like a new phase, a new stage in life. Again, context isn't necessary for, you know, what it could be for you. But you know that whatever is being left behind, something really good and positive is coming. So that's how, if you were to just see this on its own, it's like, okay, there's an ending, but this is an ending for another beginning to happen. But you don't know which way it's going to go. You don't know what other obstacles and things that are coming, but you put this in here and you know it's for sure positive. So that's one example. Let's try the Death and the Fool card. So the Death and the Fool card together. So this is another one similar to the Sun, because you see the Sun is really big in the background as well, right? So there's an ending coming here and you have a new start. You might have left all the things behind you that just no longer serve you. You're moving on to bigger and better. You're not bringing anything with you that you don't need. A brand new, fresh start. And you can get that here. Again, by itself. You don't know what's going on. And you see this little guy here. It looks like the Pope. But it's like, you can also even read this as, if you did want to read it as, you know, this person's basically almost like pleading for there not to be an ending. What is going on? Why is everything falling? Okay. So yeah, it's like someone's basically pleading for things to not end, but regardless, they're going to end and you're just going to have to accept it. So yeah, with the Fool, you know where you're going. You know where you're going. When I say you know where you're going, the Fool doesn't necessarily know where the Fool is going. They're just taking a leap of faith. So that's another also meaning behind this, taking a leap of faith. So you could be letting go of something to take a leap of faith, but at the end of the day, it's just trusting and having faith, like let go and let God, basically. Let's try and put some other ones together. Ooh, let's do this. Wow. I think I just got message. I said, please don't give me any messages. I just want to do this. I just want to do this, but I think I'm getting a message and I don't want to, so I'm going to ignore it. This fell and I picked it up in reverse. And then I ended up picking up the devil card. So we'll just say, if you are unfamiliar, this way for sure, even with it right side up, but this way for sure, someone is overdoing their power. That means that someone could be trying to affect somebody's life negatively. So I'm just like, why? Everything happens for a reason, but this could be a message for somebody. So it could be even a message for me. I don't know. Sometimes I watch these videos back when I'm trying to do the timestamps and stuff, and I'm just like, let me pick a pile and see. And I'm just like, wow, I think this is about me. So anyway, not to make this too long. So back to what I was saying, I don't know why. If literally it was just laying, I'm looking, I'm like, why is it upside down? And then I grabbed this and I'm like, oh shoot, is there a message here? Let's just go with it. So the devil on its own, I usually revert to as the 7 deadly sins, right? So anything you can think related to that. So this could just be, you know, gluttony. It could be obsessing over things. It could be drug abuse, alcohol abuse, BDSM. You know, it can represent sexuality. It can represent, what else? Like lusting. There's a whole bunch of things that you can think that would relate to, you know, low vibrational stuff. I have gotten actually positive messages with this card, but again, there's context, right? And again, what else is accompanying this card? So if you put these two together here, generally speaking, if you got this, this would be like someone's doing, we'll just say black magic. They're doing some kind of dark arts. They're playing with things that they shouldn't be. Hey. Sorry. Give me a second. I'm just trying to see if like something's trying to come through. And interestingly enough, what I'm getting, and especially the way that it's looking, I could be influenced by something I heard earlier today, but it's looking to me like there's like a judgment call. Like it looks like this person is like casting something down. Just like, you know, like God cast down Satan. It's like, it's looking like that. That's what I'm getting from this. But as it fell and it was like this, it's kind of like, okay, you know, someone's definitely overdoing their control, overdoing their power, doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. And then when I flipped it around and I saw it like this, it's like a judgment call is being made. I don't know, maybe there's a message here. Should we explore? How long has this been? It's been a little bit longer than I wanted it to be, but should we explore what this is? Because is this diverting from the purpose of the video? It kind of sort of is, but is it worth exploring? Did I even mention how this changes the direction? Okay, so yeah, I was saying, let me just finish what I'm saying here. So I was saying that this would, you know, allude to someone using some sort of like dark arts, or they could be using some sort of manipulation, trying to project this sort of energy onto somebody. By itself, you'd be doing this on your own to yourself. This way, someone is influencing that or projecting that onto you. Let's see, why not? I'm going to put a timestamp, so this is going to be like a little mini read and see if there's a message here. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's see. Cards are jumping out right now. What the? I'm scared. Why are the cards jumping out? Okay. All right, so, ooh. Okay. Okay. No, doesn't have to be anything bad, but okay. Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, context. This is the one that jumped out when I was shuffling. It literally flew out. Y'all saw that it flew out. Well, I don't know if you saw it actually fall out, but it fell. And I was referencing this card earlier, right? And look who popped up. Look at the angel that popped up at the bottom of the deck. Okay? Temperance. So I was referencing this when I was talking about the star card, how I was getting the same type of energy. Because you see the person, the star was pouring like one jug and another jug, kind of tempering, similar to this image is what I was getting in my head. I don't think we need to go any further than that. So basically the message, if this applies to anyone or even myself, when I watch this back, I'll figure it out because I'm just focusing right now. So being that we're trying to clarify what the magician and the devil is, this, I don't feel like this is death. I'm not getting death from that at all. That I'm getting as someone's that has been abusing their control. And I use that term loosely. So let's say like me, even me, I don't have control over you. But if I'm trying to exert any of like any sort of dominance or something over you, that's dead. And it's a 10 too, so it's over. That's done. And why? Because balance is being restored. So if that applies to anybody, if there's something going on in your life where someone is exerting their power or dominance over you or trying to control your life, it's done. God says so. It's done. Okay? It's done. I was going to say, should we clarify this, even the 10 of Swords? Let's just do it. We're here, we might as well. Can you clarify the 10 of Swords, please? Just one card. I think I got the answer, but what do we got? Ace of Pentacles. Happy days are here again. Blessings, abundance, a lot of good things are coming in for you now that this person or people are out of the way. Could even be 10 people, could be a whole group of people. Gang, gang. Could be a situation like that, but they're about the way. Let me mention something else before I close this video out. Something that I realized is that, anyways, this was longer than I had anticipated as per usual, and we're just going to end this here. So thanks for tuning in. If you got anything from this, hit the like, sub up if you want to keep in touch, and if you're interested in the content, and I'm going to try to be as consistent as I possibly can, all things considered. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Okay, not literally, but she out of here. She or he? Why did I say she? Okay. Maybe it's a she for somebody. All right. Peace and blessings to everyone. I hope you're doing well and stay safe.